It seems like for the most part, the fashion community here on YouTube loves talking about fashion trends. So for today's video, we're going to talk about 3 trends that have quote unquote died in 2022. This doesn't mean that these items from these trend cycles are uncool or aren't good anymore. Use this video as more of a reflection of how fashion has changed over the last 2 to 3 years. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew What It Do, and without further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's begin with the Nike Dunk. For how hot these were in 2020, I think I can confidently say in 2022, the SB Dunk, Dunk High, and Dunk Low are no longer the main meta for the dopest sneakers you can buy. While the sneakers are still popular, I think that the Dunk has reached peak saturation as there is less and less buzz for the newest upcoming releases. This doesn't necessarily mean that Dunks aren't selling out, but I feel like there's a palpable shift from Dunks being the most popular, the most coveted, the hottest sneakers out to some other sneaker and footwear models that are just more coveted in 2022. Nonetheless, there's still a lot of hype around particular Dunk models that people will of course covet for years to come, but for the masses, I think that they're moving and shifting away from loving and wanting Dunks to having a different passion for different types of footwear or sneakers. Also, I have this theory that Nike tries to manifest hype for different models for different time periods. Right now, I see it in the attempt to bring back something like the Jordan 2. The Jordan 2 right now in 2022 seems to be getting the most neck-turning collaborations for the brand as opposed to something like Dunk Lows, Dunk Highs, and SB Dunks. And as a result, as Nike focuses on other models, the hype around the Dunks and Dunk Highs, Dunk Lows, SB Dunks, etc., it seems to taper down, or it has seemed to taper down over the last 6 to 12 months. Which has led me to believe that in 2022, Dunks have died. Now I laugh because I don't want you to blast me down in the comments. Obviously Dunks will be a thing for a long time and there will always be people that cherish Dunks, but for the sake of this video, for the sake of this conversation, Dunks are quote unquote dead. Obviously, you know what I mean by that. Let's move on to number 2, and we're talking about workwear. Workwear as a fashion trend in 2019 to 2020 is so fascinating to me. I feel like brands like Carhartt and Dickies reached a brand new ceiling for a brand new generation of buyers. But in 2022, I think one of the brands that I'm seeing less and less as I scroll through my Instagram feed and just less talked about has to be Carhartt. Now, Carhartt will never die, and neither will Dunk. So if you're watching this video in a pair of Carhartt double knees with your Dunks on, you're fine. It's good, bro. It's all good. Or sis, it's all good. In all honesty, when I say Carhartt, I want to focus on 2 items from that workwear genre that were made fashion in 2019, 2020, maybe early 2021 era. First, let's talk about Carhartt Detroit jackets. Now, obviously, as the weather gets warmer, you're going to see less and less Carhartt Detroit jackets. But I think that in terms of the conversation for relevancy in fashion, I think the Detroit jacket has had its day in the modern yearly trend cycle, and I think it's no longer going to be prevalent in fall 2022. And obviously, I think even in like summer 2020, you saw Detroit jackets. You saw a lot of people wearing those kind of jackets, even in the summer and the springtime. And you don't see that this year at all. Just in my opinion, I feel like the Carhartt Detroit jacket workwear focused kind of look is fading a bit in 2022, where in 2020 and 2021, early 2021, it was really what was it? And the same goes for Carhartt double knees. Now, I'm not here to slander Detroit jackets or double knees. I think for the most part, what double knees have done, which I think are great, is introduced a lot of people to wider fitting silhouettes when it comes to pants. And that's really cool to see that they've had that long-term effect on fashion. But I remember not too long ago, there seemed to be a frenzy about going out to your local thrift store, Goodwill, or secondhand shop and sifting through the clothing racks or the bins just to find a pair of Carhartt double knees that have a little bit of distressing or paint splatters or blood splatters or whatever it may be, just so that you could own that moment in time and be someone who has a really cool pair of Carhartt double knees. And maybe you still have a pair right now. Like, there's nothing wrong with owning these things. Like I said, this video is meant to be a conversation about where we are now and where we were, right? So Just because something is no longer in trend, it doesn't mean you can't still wear it. In fact, I encourage you to still wear it because that means you really enjoyed the item and it's less about trends and it's more about what you want to wear on a day-to-day basis. And kind of going back to wider fitting pants, what you see in 2022 is people enjoy wider fitting pants and wider fitting trousers because of the fact that the Carhartt double knee was introduced in 2020 and 2021 and 2019. And as a result, people just like that fit now more so, right? When people were wearing a lot of Carhartt double knees and Dunks and Jordans, now they're looking at, wider fitting pants that maybe aren't double knee, that aren't that utilitarian wear, more fashion focused pants that are wider, and they wear those now and they don't even realize that the reason why they wear wider fitting pants is because, oh, I like how the double knees fit, but I don't need all this function, all this utility, because I'm not going to be going out and painting or, doing arduous labor. Those are 3 hot takes. I said Dunks, I said Carhartt Detroit jackets, I said Carhartt double knees. What do you guys think? Are those things still very hot in 2022? I'd be really curious to hear your opinion down in the comments. Last, let's talk about the resurgence of bootlegs in that 2020-2021 timeframe. Now, in my opinion, if you pay attention closely, then you'll have noticed that bootlegs were really popular in 2020. Like, there were a lot of companies, tons of brands, tons of small creators making their own bootleg Jordans, Dunks, Air Forces, etc., etc. It all seemed to be based off of what Nike models were being made. And I think that there are 2 reasons why bootlegs resurged in that time frame. The first reason has to do with the ability to cop from the actual retailer. See, there's been an ongoing frustration with a lot of people trying to acquire sneakers, whether it be Nikes, New Balances, Adidas, etc., etc. And what does that do to a lot of people that want shoes but can't get them either because of bots, because of cook groups, or because of all the other unfair reasons that people can't acquire shoes? What do they do at that point? Well, if you're a creative individual, you have an extra bit of cash and you live in the 21st century, then at this time frame in 2021, 2020, you're able to hit up a manufacturer, have a shoe manufactured for you and sell that shoe with little to no legal repercussions or legal problems. Essentially, anybody with design skills, a bit of money, and a high-speed internet connection can manufacture something overseas. So people did, and a lot of people use the Jordan 1 or the Dunk Low or the SB Dunk as the blueprint. Frustration plus ability to manufacture created the bootleg trend. And while there are a ton of variants of bootlegs, in my communities there's only a handful that really captivated the essence of what a bootleg should look like. Obviously there's no criteria for what a bootleg should look like, but I think that if you look at certain models, some stand above the rest as being incredibly creative and go beyond the notion of what we thought was possible for these shoes, while others just kind of recreate models that they love, and that's fine too. Personally, I think that the bootleg movement was really interesting. I had a ton of fun looking and seeing different bootlegs that were coming out, and it ended because of the fact that Nike tightened up its patent laws and basically slapped down on anyone who was trying to recreate what they had already patented and designed for themselves. So that's why it ended, and it died in a very kind of ceremoniously way. Those are the 3 trends that I think have either died in 2022 or have taken a nosedive for the worst in 2022. What do you think? Do you think that I said some things that were off, or do you think that I was wrong about Dunks or Carhartt? I feel pretty confidently about what I'm saying about bootlegs because of the patent laws and all the things going on. I think that there are some very niche brands that are still creating bootlegs, but that is neither here nor there. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. For real. Anyway, as always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2022. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good? Post vid. Here's a fist bump for the one time. Bop. You know how we get it. We always hit 2 times. Bop. Appreciate you guys so much for watching the video. I have one question for the post vid. If you could comment #PVV and answer this question for me, I would be much appreciated. Can't wait to read these answers. The question is, what is one thing you're excited about for the summertime? Whether you are going to be working, or you're out of school, or you're a grown person and you still work, and but if you have something planned for the summertime, what is one thing you're excited for the summertime? I'll say mine real quick. In Colorado, it's beautiful out here in the summertime. I got some new like Merrell hiking gear kind of stuff, so I'm super excited to head up to the mountains and do some hiking, do some outdoor activities. That's a very Colorado answer, but yeah, I'm excited to do those things, man. So comment down below what you're excited to do. Got love for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.